Only 1 in 4 high school boys feels like they can trust a friend of theirs with personal information. When I was in high school and middle school, I was always walking around like, I'm the guy who doesn't know who's going to eat lunch with. Whereas I don't fit in this group, I don't fit in that group. And I just wish somebody told me, hey, dude, sit with us. You're not aware of what you need. It's just being able to sit with yourself and find self-worth. You love yourself.
How do you start to love yourself? Orly, I'm really glad you're on, man. Well, first of all, welcome to Created to Create, guys. Welcome back. 40th episode. Dude, thank you so much for being on the 40th episode.
It's a pleasure.
It's an honor to have you on. You're a special human being. I hope you know that. I hope everybody listening knows that. Orly Israel. He's a guy full of joy, full of gratitude and thankfulness for life.
He says this about everybody.
No,
Every guest on this podcast, special dude.
No, I don't, dude. I had a whole thing written up for you, bro. I was about to read off literally this whole paragraph about you, but I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore.
Can't glaze me.
No, it's genuine, man.
All right,
it's
hit
genuine.
me then. Glaze me up.
Here's the thing. The reason why I wanted you to come on the podcast and the reason why I was excited when you wanted to come on the podcast is because you're someone who has been through some tough things, some pretty tough things recently, and you continue to stay grounded and hold a level of joy more than most people that I know. And I think it's just really special to not only see that happen from the outside, but to get to have like such a close perspective of it, being your friend. And I'm not going to cry.
Dude, I will.
I just really appreciate you as a person. And you're someone who has, in my life, and I know in so many others, just embraced so many different things about me, and just in such a short amount of time showed such a deep level of care for like me, my family, my younger brother, like my mom, things that you just like don't necessarily need to do, but you're a really good friend. So that's
Thanks,
how
man.
that's how we're gonna open.
It's a
the
great way to
podcast.
start. I talked to your brother yesterday night.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He told me about it.
No, I told him I was going to be in this podcast.
You got to call my mom out for what she said.
Mrs. Glentz, if you're not watching this podcast, I don't know I can't help you. But if you are watching this podcast, then congratulations on your first episode of Created to Create.
Hi, Mom. Orly calls and he tells, my brother and my mom that he's going to be on the podcast. And my mom goes, oh, now I'll have a reason to actually watch Created to Create. My own mother.
My own mom. I might have done you dirty there, Miss Collins.
No, it's just so funny. But you do something that's really, really simple but unique, and not everybody does it. I mean, people do it. I'm going to say it's like a brand new thing that you thought of, but you're really intentional about sending like good morning texts, or just like, hey, yo, crush the day, here for you, do what you need to do. And I know that you do that to quite a few people.
I mean, I'm not like
you don't have a spreadsheet, but
no.
But you think about doing it to quite a few people. And it's not like I get one every single day, but I get one pretty often.
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
I think that I put out in the world what I want to come back to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? If I can send out positive messages to people all the time, sometimes I'll get positive messages when I need them to.
And you do.
And I do. I get them. You sent me a good one today. Excited to see you.
Yeah.
I was like, I need that.
Yeah. Because I was.
Yeah.
I was stoked to see you.
I love sending out. I call them positivity landmines. Where I just send out a good message and then I just wait.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll come back.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't, but I just put more landmines out there.
Positivity landmines. You got to trademark that.
Because I'll just step on it and go, oops, good time.
You're like, oops, I care about you.
And I got some friends who will like never respond to text. So I'll send something and it could be a week later and they'll go, thumbs up. Cool.
You know what's crazy
Still
though? I think texts like those impact those people the most.
That's interesting.
I think so.
I think that I have a different relationship with my phone than some people do. I have good friends who I could text something nice and they'll respond 3 days later. And I'm like, how do you live without responding to every text you get as soon as possible? And I'm almost envious of their ability to not ding, check, respond.
Right.
So I've been trying to be a do not disturb mode guy pretty much all day, every day.
Do you find yourself like getting caught up with it in an unhealthy way? Is that what you're saying? Or
Yeah.
like where you're just like ding ding, like gotta check it, gotta respond right away.
Right, like where's the flow state sometimes?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, if I get text, oh, I gotta check it, I gotta respond.
It's like interrupting.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing to do though, to like respond quickly.
I think so.
I think so. It's something that I don't do extremely well.
You're probably doing things that are important to you.
True.
Oh yeah, you're doing something important?
Yeah.
Can't respond.
Yeah.
Fine. Good.
Right.
Right?
But there's a balance with everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna respond to everything and sometimes you're gonna not respond and realize that's okay. But when you see a message that someone sends you and you go, not gonna respond to that, it's hard for me.
I think it's also different with like the different types of texts. Like some texts just take a lot more thought. Like
Sure.
with anything, with any type of conversation or like what you're doing, like some things just take a lot more thought that you got to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm not really in a place where I can put that thought. Like you texted me that one time. You know, I texted you like a deep question and you're like, I'm not in the headspace for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, well, text me later or tomorrow. Like whenever you can think about it. I don't really care.
Yeah. I respond to you and say, I'm not gonna respond to you.
True.
Because I'm still like in that phone zone of but I'm working on it.
Well, I'm working on it too. You're definitely helping me out because I'm not the person that would respond and say that I'm not in the headspace. I would just not respond until I am in the headspace.
Valid.
Yeah. But also communication is good too. So
I think I'm gonna start having times I check my phone in the day and just not check it.
Yeah.
At not those times.
I think that's good.
And they're like, I'm on do not disturb mode all day. And I have some people that are like work contacts where if they call me, I will need to know.
Right.
And so I just have them on the bypass setting.
It's good.
That's it. Let's see if it
good.
works.
You started public speaking recently.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's exciting.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's challenging. Today I did a rehearsal for my speech I'm doing next week.
Really?
By the time this podcast airs,
Right.
I will have spoken to students from 6 schools.
Wow.
At one time.
That's insane, dude.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I did a speech a couple weeks ago in Ohio. Shout out to Cuyahoga Community College for flying me
Cuyahoga?
out. Yeah.
Dude, my family's from Cuyahoga.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I like grew up going there.
To the college?
Not the college, just
So, like,
Cuyahoga
you know
Valley.
where it's at?
Yeah, like the valley, the national park.
Great.
Yeah, I love that area.
Well, I was there. I spoke to over 100 people. It was great.
That's so cool.
And I watched the footage back and I went, oh my God, this is bad.
How it can be that bad?
I don't know. It depends.
You can always be better.
Sure. And I got a lot of positive feedback from the students and from the staff. And also knowing the impact that I want to have and the vibes that I want to create, I got to go back to the drawing board here.
What could you do better? Like, what do you draw?
There is this feeling of lightness and positivity that I try and live with my life.
Mm-hmm.
I love laughing. I love having fun with people. I love being uplifting.
Yeah.
And when I go into a place and I go, loneliness is the worst thing in the world. You're all lonely here. You're all suffering. It's like, what am I doing? Like, my speech was not uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
It was, the world is dark and we need your light, which is like fine.
Valid.
Yes, and true. But I want people leaving being like, damn, I'm stoked.
Right.
Not the darkness is encroaching upon us.
Yeah.
And so I've been reiterating my message over and over again. I've rehearsed it a couple times. And today I rehearsed it and I got some feedback saying, this is the best version it is so far.
It's good.
And you speak like you're not mad and you speak like a person. Because my tone in the last one I was pretty monotone almost. I don't
Like
know.
monotone or more pissed off?
More pissed off.
Really?
I think so. I mean, you watch it. I'll send you some clips.
Yeah, I'd
you
love to
watch.
see it.
I've posted some on social media. You've probably seen a couple clips.
Heck yeah.
Maybe.
But it's tough, like in an environment like that, to just bring that energy intentionally, especially if you're not a seasoned, quote unquote, public speaker.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring the game. I'm going to bring the best game I can bring.
Do you get nervous?
Not nervous.
Okay. What do you get?
I want it to be really good.
Naturally.
And I think that the level of preparation that I have will add to my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
When I do it, I have a presentation. I know my material. I've got lines I'm going to say. I've got a script. So I'm not nervous about that. And speaking to the audience itself is fine so far. So I wouldn't say I'm nervous. I'm mostly just concerned with making it as good as it can be.
Obviously. No, that's good, bro.
Focused.
So you talk about loneliness.
Yeah.
Give me the spiel right now. Why is loneliness bad? And also, is it bad to be introverted?
No.
Like, what's the difference?
Not at all. Well, why is loneliness bad is a really interesting question. Loneliness, to me, is just an indication of lack of validation from external sources. Loneliness, it manifests in a lot of different ways and for a lot of different reasons. But all of it is a signal that says, I'm not getting what I need from others.
Mm-hmm.
And this might mean that you are confused more than you are lonely. And this is the question. It's like, is loneliness a bad thing? No. It's a signal that you're not aware of what you need.
Mm.
And if
so what do you do? What do you do after realizing that then?
Well, then you get to develop a relationship with yourself. And this is why listening is the key. Because if you can say, okay, I'm feeling lonely, why? And then sit with yourself for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 days and 40 nights, you might find out what is causing your loneliness. Or if you're lonely at all.
Right.
Because there's different types of loneliness. The first type of loneliness is the one a lot of people go through, which is just one person in my life isn't validating my existence.
Mm-hmm.
That's not loneliness as much as that's just heartache.
You're putting a lot of trust in one singular person or thing.
Mm-hmm. Usually it's a romantic thing.
Right.
But this person is not making me feel like I'm the most important person in the world.
Yeah.
That's not loneliness. That's heartbreak.
Right.
And it makes you feel lonely. But you can't grieve it if you don't know what it is. And then there's the loneliness of feeling like you don't belong, which is something that I used to feel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sometimes feeling like the people you are with aren't the people you want to be with. And the people you are wanting to be with, you don't fit in there. And that's not necessarily loneliness. That's feeling like you're not living up to your potential.
Right.
Oh, I want to be part of the faster group of people, but I don't fit into the faster group. I want to be part of the musicians that are kicking ass. I want to be part of the smarter people. Well, you'd belong there if you were faster, smarter, more talented. So that's loneliness, but it also is a signal that says you're not working as hard as you can. You're not investing in your skills.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't created the community that you want to be a part of because, and this can be location. I want to live in a good neighborhood. I want to have a good job. I want to be part of a group that I'm not part of because of an external thing. So
Cool.
yeah, that feels lonely, but what it is a self, like, oh, I need to do more. So there's heartbreak, right?
Yep.
There's feeling like you're less than, you're worthless because you're not fitting in.
Yep.
There is the loneliness, which is isolation, right? When you're just not around people at all.
Yep.
And I think that's really a true loneliness.
Yeah.
A true loneliness of this sense of, well, I'm not around people. The solution to that is like, go around people, right?
Yeah.
These are the main types of loneliness. And then there's the final one, which is like, you just don't feel like you fit in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But not because you have a group of people you want to fit in with, but because you don't know yourself enough.
Right.
How can I fit in anywhere if I don't know who I am?
Yeah.
If I don't know what matters to me. And then you end up scrolling and you end up saying, oh, maybe if I'm in this group, or maybe if this person likes me, or maybe if I'm doing this job or doing this thing. And because of that, that's not loneliness. That's disconnection from yourself. Or that's confusion. And so I say people are more confused than they are lonely, but lonely is a really easy way to feel bad without knowing why you feel bad.
It's like a easy cop out also, like an easy diagnosis of just, yeah, I'm lonely. Like, because you're not doing the work to know yourself anyway. So you can just be like, yeah, I'm lonely.
I wouldn't say it's like an easy cop out because it is something that is really hard for people to admit. And the data on loneliness says there are so many lonely people. 1 out of 2 American adults feel lonely.
50%?
50%.
Crazy.
So there's a lot of shame because once you say out loud, I feel lonely sometimes, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because people
Is it though?
Is it? I don't know. If 50% of people feel it and no one talks about it, no one's ever talking about it.
There's perceived embarrassment though. And if nobody ever talks about it, then how do you know if it's actually embarrassing?
Maybe it's not even real.
What's not real?
Maybe the loneliness statistics are wrong.
Maybe.
But like, there's 8 people who live in this house. Do you think any of them feel lonely?
I think we all feel lonely at certain times, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I think when we're all together, we don't.
Yeah, but being like alone can be lonely.
Can be. Being with other people can be lonely, like you were saying. Like being with the wrong people can be lonely.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the cure to loneliness is. Oh, wait, I do. It's just being able to sit with yourself and find self-worth within. But you have to start to enjoy your own company.
How do you do that?
How do you enjoy your own company?
Yeah.
Well, you love yourself. And you ask yourself, do I love myself?
Okay.
And if your answer is anything but a resounding yes, then you
don't
start doing the work.
Yeah. How do you start to love yourself?
I don't know. That's a great question. I think that if you told me that you don't love yourself, then I would argue with you until you did. I'm trying to think of a more friendly way to put that. But I would ask you questions about other people in your life. If you told me you didn't love yourself, I say, let's pick someone you love. And you said, okay, let's pick your brother.
Right.
Who I know you love and who I know has flaws, as everyone does.
Yeah.
And then I would just say, point out any flaw that he has. And you'd point one out. And then I would say, do you still love him? And then at the end of some of these flaws, I'd say, okay, let's do you now.
Yeah.
And I'd say, point out your flaws. And we'd go through any of your flaws and say, is this flaw a reason not to love yourself?
Yeah.
And eventually you'd be like, okay, I don't have any single reason that invalidates love for myself.
Right.
And then suddenly you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm open to the possibility of loving myself 1% more.
Right.
And then I'll do some math voodoo, and I'll say, well, if you can love yourself 1% more, you can love yourself 2% more.
Right.
And I was like, well, if you can love yourself 2%, like you might as well be able to love yourself like 3 or 4%.
Exactly. You keep going down.
Okay. And then I'm just like, okay, what's the reason? And then I just say, well, if you can love yourself at all, then you can love yourself completely.
Is loneliness bad then? Or is it good because it's what pushes us towards the latter?
This is why I say in my end of this new speech, I'm trying to get people to turn loneliness into lonely yes. Because lonely yes means I'm feeling something. Yes. Let's go in there.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Do the work.
What am I feeling? I'm feeling lonely. What's missing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's romance. Why? What's the timeline of my life?
Yeah.
Do I need one person to validate me? Are they the right person?
Right.
If I'm craving one person's acceptance, then that better be the best person I've ever met.
Right.
And chances are it's not. And chances are there's going to be someone else that can fill the same gap for you. Or if it is, oh, I'm feeling like I want to be part of a community that I'm not part of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what community do you want to be part of? Right? Who are you? So anytime you feel loneliness, you go, I'm lonely. Yes. Indicating a signal that it's time to spend some more time with myself.
Which could be construed as counterintuitive because you're spending time with yourself, which a lot of people deem as you being lonely. Oh, like you're spending time with yourself, you're lonely. That's like
Well, it doesn't matter what other people think, especially if you're in this process of developing some self-worth and self-love.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter what other people think. Oh, he's by himself. I admire someone who's by themselves and doesn't feel lonely.
Me too.
I admire that. And there's solitude.
I admire that bug. That bug is lonely.
That bug is
flying around
right in my face. Solitude is different than loneliness.
What's the difference? And maybe this can answer my question because I was going to ask is like at what point is understanding that you're lonely and spending time thinking about why you're lonely too much? Like when do you get to a point where that's too much
To handle?
Or like how long should you sit there and when is too much? When is too long? To sit there and be like, oh, I'm lonely. I don't have someone that loves me. I don't have a community. I need that. But then you just don't take action.
A coach of mine said there are 3 steps: awareness, acceptance, and action. And 90% of people or more try and go from awareness to action.
Without acceptance.
Without acceptance.
Interesting.
They skip it. They go, I'm feeling lonely. I should fix it. Here's how.
Yeah.
Or I'm feeling anything bad. Like maybe I'm feeling mad. I should go do a mad person thing.
Yeah.
Or let it out.
Yeah.
But you have to accept that you feel this way. And sometimes there's like a recursive thing. For me, it's awareness. Okay, I'm aware that I'm feeling this way. Right? I've had times where I'm like, I'm aware I feel lonely. And then it's, I accept that I feel this way. And then that's like a grieving process of saying, the person that I've spent 31 years being has learned this pattern of caring so deeply about what other people think, about putting value of self into other people, that I have to spend more time thinking about how that's affected my life. Mm-hmm. And so the acceptance of this is something that I'm going through turns into the desire to have more awareness of how has this affected me and how is it affecting me now? And then the process can take weeks, months,
right,
years as you accept, but the action that comes from it will come from a place of self-worth because you are spending enough time to get to the root of why you feel this way.
Yeah.
Because it may not just be like, oh, I'm feeling lonely because I'm not romantically involved. Let's just jump into the next relationship.
Right. Fill the void.
Right.
Yeah.
Will it work?
Probably,
Probably not long term.
No.
So I think that acceptance means spending more time than you might expect.
It's healing the deeper wounds rather than just throwing a Band-Aid on it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Heal the wound, man. Or at least look at the wound and say, this wound's going to take a while to heal.
Yeah.
So let's put some gauze on it and some bandages and wait.
How do you forgive yourself when you get to that point? I want to wrap this up really, like this part of like the loneliness talk.
Oh, great. Yeah. Loneliness.
But like, how do you forgive yourself when you do realize that maybe you've been a little too harsh on yourself in that area, or you haven't loved yourself for 20 years and now you're just trying to figure that out?
Forgive yourself. How do you accept? How do you accept the
Is
yourself?
acceptance and forgiveness like the same thing?
It's close.
What's the difference between it?
Well, they're both given the gift of love. You accept somebody, you give them the gift of love, regardless of the flaws they have. You forgive someone, you give them the gift of love, regardless of the flaws they have. You stop holding things against them.
Right.
And you say, it's all good. Yeah, you screwed up. You made mistakes, you learned. You're going to make more mistakes, you're going to learn.
Yeah.
But I won't stop loving you because you make mistakes. And because if it's internal, you get to see that you're making these mistakes, and you go, you know what? I accept that the last time I ate a sleeve of Oreos, it was a huge mistake. And the reason I did that is probably because I was bored.
Right.
I accept that I make bad culinary decisions when I'm bored. It's a gift to myself to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Feels good.
Feels great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I saw some quote that said, it is hard to be unhealthy and it's hard to be healthy. And it's hard to be, and he gave me all these things, all
one
these
after
things,
the
right?
other.
Like everything is hard. Being healthy is hard. Being unhealthy is hard. Being uneducated is hard. Getting educated is hard. Working hard is hard. Not working hard is hard. Choose your hard. Right? That was the catchphrase.
Yeah.
Choose your hard.
What are you gonna
It's all
work
gonna be
hard at?
What's gonna be easy?
Yeah. No, I kind of like mentioned in the beginning that you had been through some hardships recently, and one of those things being the Palisades fire, the LA fires, whatever you want to call them. And I'll have you kind of like walk me through what happened, and you can kind of get details on what it is. But I think my main question, and I would love for you to give some context as to like what happened to you. But my main question is when that happened, when everything went down, why didn't you just quit?
Quit what? Living?
Not living, but just like give up to the point of, well, this happened, so like, why should I keep pursuing the dreams that I have? Why should I keep pursuing the things that like I actually genuinely want to do in my career, community, like all of it? It'd be so easy to just kind of throw in the towel, at least for maybe a year or 2 years, and be like, this happened.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it easy to throw in the towel?
I'm asking you.
Like, what are we sitting on, dude? Millions of cash, just like chilling in LA and just not work, and just be like, you know what? That's tough, man. I guess I'll take a year or two off. I don't know, man. I take 2 hours off. I get stressed out these days because I'm trying to make it work.
Yeah.
But what's the whole story, right? So it's a January 7th, and suddenly I get a text message. Are you good? What do you mean? I haven't looked out the window yet because I'm on my computer in my
On
bed.
the grind.
Yeah. Just trying to put together a video or something about speaking. I look out the window and boom, cloud of smoke. No. I run downstairs. Mom. Because I'm back at my parents' house trying to make this new career work. You got to look out the window. She's like, I'm on the phone. Can I wait? No. Just got to look out right now. And then my brother comes in. I go, Rafe, look. And he comes in carrying this tray of banana bread. He's about to make the batter. And he goes, should I stop making this banana bread? And I go, no, dude, make the bread. Like, we're fine. We're in the middle of a city.
Yeah.
The fire's not going to get to us. And I was wrong. And the fire got to us. And there are all these videos of me and our friend Tanner just running around the fire, basically trying to put it out.
Insane.
And we didn't put it out. And yeah, since then I slept on this couch. I slept at a friend's couch. I got to stay in a co-working space. I got to stay in a new friend's house for 3 weeks, and then a new house for 3 weeks, and then a new house for 3 weeks, and then a new house for 2 weeks, and then a new house for 10 days, and then a new house for 9 days.
Dude, you've just been taken care of.
I've been taken care of, dude.
Yeah.
Been taken care of. I might be back on this couch for a couple of days.
Yeah, you will.
But so I guess when you say, like, how do you not call it quits? Like, I called it quits. I'm like, I'm not trying to find a new place right now. Like, I got a dream, which is somehow to make a significant impact on how people show love. And to tell people, because I was this sadder kid. And I had a smile on my face most of the time. But when I was in high school and middle school, I was always walking around like, I'm the guy who doesn't know who's going to eat lunch with, who I'm going to sit with, where I'm going to go. Oh, I'm going to go from this group to this group to this group to my favorite teacher and back to the blah, blah, blah. And by then, lunch was over. And I know this is a very high school thing, but that was like my experience. Was I don't fit in this group, I don't fit in that group. And I just wish somebody told me, hey, dude, sit with us. Simple. But never happened. And so that started my whole journey of trying to understand why people don't just reach out to people, say, hey, be here. And now I'm just going with trying to make that happen. Trying to fight the world until the world says that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are saying, hey, live my place. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think it's a valuable pain point that I had. I know a lot of people go through something similar somehow. I still don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because the statistics are like crazy. Statistics are insane.
What are they?
I mean, when I was training for the suicide hotline, there was a stat that said only 1 in 4 high school boys feels like they can trust a friend of theirs with personal information.
Wow.
Which is crazy to me, and I find it hard to believe. There's a stat that says like 60% of Gen Z or more feels chronically lonely. Whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. Right? And I see the stat, and I'm like, how is that possible? And then I go to a speech, and I talk to the kids, and I have everyone put their hands up if they feel a certain way, and like everyone's hands are up.
Wow.
And I go, you're all feeling lonely. No one talks about it? Like, because loneliness is a symptom of a different problem, a lack of self-worthiness to feel comfortable being yourself, or to say, I want more and I'm willing to try and fight for it. Or to say, you know, I've put my value in someone else's opinion of me and I have to analyze that. So I think it's a symptom, and that's why people are ashamed about it, because if you say, hey, dude, I feel lonely, like, what's the worst that can happen? Someone's going to say, oh, dude, what?
Someone doesn't understand you or doesn't know what to say.
I don't know, dude. I have to try it.
That's the worst.
You have to, like, right, it's not a bad situation. I think it's embarrassing for some reason.
Well, I think it's embarrassing because, like you said, like admitting it, acceptance is the hardest part. So if one person says that they're lonely, then that means everybody else has to kind of face that feeling too.
But there are also times where I think it's appropriate to be lonely and people are needy. Like, if you're laying in bed and it's like 11:15 and you're scrolling and you're like, oh, I'm FOMOing.
Yeah.
Like, you're not lonely. You should be asleep.
Right.
You're raising your standards to unrealistic levels. The amount of connection that you need to feel satisfied is higher than the amount of connection people usually give.
Right.
So I think people are a little needier now that we have such deep connections to each other.
Right. I want to get back to the whole like
burn down thing.
no. I want to get back to the technology in a second.
Yeah.
I have an interesting question about that, but I think you answered my question when it comes to the whole fires thing, just everything that happened to you and you wanting to continue to pursue what you were pursuing. I mean, after everything you shared about even like your high school experience and stuff, you have like a very deeply rooted reason why you're doing what you're doing now. It's not just, oh, like I'm going to be the guy that talks about social fitness on Instagram and YouTube and get a bunch of clicks.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool if you did it just for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. You have like a very personal experience with it that's caused you to want to actually make a change in a lot of people's lives. So having a deep conviction about something means that you're going to continue to do it no matter what. And in your case, you're going to continue to do it even though your family's house burned down, even though you were put in a situation where you lost virtually everything you owned and you were left high and dry, nowhere to go.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Not high and dry because people came through for you. But in the moment when it actually happened,
I will say
that was like the initial thing that happened.
I have not for 1 minute, not for 1 second, felt like if I needed something, I wouldn't have it.
Mm.
Not for 1 second. That's the power of community.
Yeah.
That's the power of
Praise
having
God.
incredible community. Praise God. That I have felt I have a place to stay if I need it.
Yeah.
Many places.
Yeah.
I could stay right here for a month.
Of course.
I have food. I have shelter. I have friends. I have support. I have family across the country. So I've never been, oh my God, help. I'm desperately alone. I have been like, oh my God, help, AI exists, and I don't know how I'm going to live in that world. But that's just like context.
Right. No, I agree with you. And I think I was more so just hinting at the fact that you weren't necessarily left high and dry because you have the community around you that you do. But virtually, like, that's like the situation that you were kind of put in, which caused the community to respond in the way that they did, which caused you not to be high and dry and lonely. But my point being is, yeah, you're just like convicted in what you're doing and why you're doing it. So even something as extreme as what happened to you isn't going to stop you from doing that. From what it seems like, from where I'm sitting.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's not going to stop me yet. I'm committed for giving it more time. Giving it a fair shot.
Yeah.
Because that was the plan, and I'm sticking to the plan.
Right. Well, it's admirable. Hope you know that.
Thanks,
Told
man.
you in the beginning, but I'll tell you again. I'll keep telling you that.
Take it.
Okay, back to the whole technology thing. Do you think technology is completely bad then for social connection, for genuine connection? Like, what do you think the line is there?
I love technology, man. I think it's sweet that we can FaceTime.
Yeah, it's so sick.
I think it's fascinating that someone could text me, hey, you want to hang out at 6 p.m. on Tuesday? And Apple will go, put 6 p.m. on Tuesday, hang with Ben in the calendar. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I saw a robot at this event that is a therapy robot. And it looks like a person, looks like a woman, and it speaks like a person, and it is scary until you think it's amazing. Because you can talk to it, and it looks at you, and it moves its arms, and it moves its face, and it's just like a humanoid person. And people go, oh my God, is this going to replace therapists? Is it going to take jobs away from people? Maybe. But there is also a situation where there are so many people who are suffering from conditions that people don't have the time for. That people don't have the time to say, oh, my grandfather has dementia and he needs constant attention,
Right.
and have the same conversation with someone over and over again.
Right.
And maybe I'm not in a position where I can take care of him because I have to figure out how to take care of my own family and my own problems.
But
And
a
so
robot
I
can't.
do think that, having a compassionate humanoid companion can give somebody meaningful support. That's the positioning of this thing. They want to position it for autistic children who need more support and families can't take care. And I think that that's just one example of technology aiding people. I think that the integration that people are having with technology, like constantly being on their phones or wearable tech, or just we were talking about notifications and do not disturb, and just being able to say, hey, I'm not going to be constantly accessible all the time because of all these channels are open. Oh, I got to check LinkedIn. Oh, I got to check Twitter. Oh, I got to check Instagram. Oh, I got to check Facebook. Oh, I got to check email. Oh, I got to check my text messages and my voicemails and my WhatsApp and other apps that I might be on. If there is a chance that you are missing a message or that you're not receiving a message since there's 1,000 ways to contact you, then you're going to feel lonely. Then you're going to feel like, I'm bummed because I'm not engaged with people constantly. It's like if you go to an all-you-can-eat restaurant, you're going to eat a ton of food. You ever been all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, my God, it's the best.
You leave bloated.
If you go to a sushi restaurant and you get this much food, you're like, great. That was fantastic.
Right.
If you go to an all-you-can-eat restaurant and you eat this much food, you're like, I got cheated.
Right.
I feel disgusted with myself. And so we're living in a world where we want the sushi restaurant. We don't need 1 million pieces of cheaper meat. We want some high quality stuff.
We want a filet mignon.
Sure, yeah, we want a filet mignon, or we want the nigiri, or we want the sashimi, or we want the yellow tuna roll. And that's like, great, I had what I needed. It's 10 o'clock, I'm going to go to sleep. And when I wake up, I don't need text from 3 people by 6 in the morning. I check my phone after swimming at 6:30 or 7 in the morning, and I'm like, no one texted me? No one's up. So yeah, how it's just this concept of, I think the access that technology gives us to not interact with people gives us the thought that we should be.
Right.
AI is going to get really interesting. I think it stands to help a lot of people.
You're either programmed by tech or you program tech. And we have products that people have programmed that cause us to be programmed. But if we're in a place where we're able to like put a lot of forethought into what we're doing, then we can start to like program tech to work for us so that we're not sucked into it.
Yeah, and then we have more time to like frolic.
Right.
We got more time to be like, yo, guys, I'm going to go down by the pond.
Yeah.
Come and join me, and let's all eat barbecue and take a shower in the rain.
Sounds like a blast.
Sounds like Top Gun 3.
Dude, I remember going to Yosemite National Park back in like 2022.
Oh, I was there with Jimmy.
2021. Both years I was there. With
yeah.
who?
With Jimmy?
Jimmy?
Oh, you weren't there.
I don't think I was there.
Oh, different time.
Anyway, I was in Yosemite, and I just remember, this is adding on to your point. I just remember where like me and my homies are walking through the park, and we end up by this riverbank, and we end up spending, I kid you not, like 3.5 hours just doing nothing, listening to the sounds around us, picking up a stick, throwing it down, picking up another stick, throwing it down, talking life with each other. Not even talking. Like, but it was the most relaxing thing to do. And like, we intentionally set aside that time for us to find that for ourselves because we knew we wanted it. But like, we had to kind of like disconnect from other people that wouldn't allow us to get to that point. We had to disconnect from technology that wouldn't allow us to get to that point. So back to your point, I was just trying to like aid to the fact that you can use technology to like program so you can have more time to kind of do what you really want to do.
Right.
Feel led to do. Things that are healthy for you.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it now because I'm running a business here, trying to get more speaking engagements, make more content about it.
Right.
And I'm also thinking, well, if you called a business and you wanted to do business with them and they were closed or not picking up their phone, it's bad business. So that's fascinating.
Bad business or good business?
I think what I would do in just this situation, maybe set up like a Google alert or something that says if someone contacts me in a specific way, then I'll get the notification. You know, but if they're just like texting me about random stuff, I don't know. I'm just thinking in my mind of how I can use technology to make it so that the people who can contact me are
you'll be able to program it to even like either specific people that you're like, okay, if this person calls me, pick it up.
Yeah.
You can kind of program that. Or like you were saying, time sensitivity. Like someone
Right.
texts you, calls you, emails you, and technology, AI is able to be like, this guy needs an answer within 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then it pushes a notification through.
Yeah.
But if not, then it's just like, nah.
Dude, they probably have that for sure.
They definitely have it now. What do you say to somebody that feels too awkward to be social?
What does that mean?
Like they don't feel like they have the confidence in themselves to be social, to connect
With anybody?
with anybody.
Gosh, find me that person who can't connect with anybody. I mean, that's a fascinating type of person who doesn't want to connect with anybody. It's so situational because one person who feels isolated might be different than someone who feels connected to everybody. I would say that being able to listen to yourself and know what matters to you. If you feel like you can't connect with anyone, you still like comics or a TV show or hate something fascinating, then you can find people that there's common interests about. Being able to love yourself, being able to sit quietly with yourself. Some people don't give themselves the chance.
Right.
So I'd say, okay, if you can't connect with anyone, start connecting with yourself.
I agree.
If you can connect with yourself, people will connect with you later.
Right. And you'll have the confidence to be bold too. You hopefully build that confidence.
Probably.
At least.
Bold is fun.
Super fun.
Get negative feedback and go, yo, that was dumb, but like, that was more interesting than it would have been if I didn't. I mean, you can make mistakes for sure.
Right.
Some of the greatest heroes of our ages have made awful mistakes, and they are still remembered for their heroics.
Right. Like who?
Well, Martin Luther King made some pretty egregious mistakes in his personal life, repeatedly. Mother Teresa, apparently not all above board. There are people who are historically Gandhi. Gandhi was great in one way and pretty bad in another way. Plato was Socrates was sentenced to death. Jesus obviously was doing all the right things and people still hated him.
Right.
So you've got this sense of, well, people will remember you for the best things you've done, unless some of the things you've done are horrible. But if you've done a significant amount of good, then I think people will forgive your mistakes. Including the doctor. Dr. King, people forgive your mistakes. Probably.
Yeah.
Most people.
Yep.
Because if you're famous for one thing, it's usually like All the rest is bonus Easter egg content. No one even knows.
Right. Unless they choose to make a big deal out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they choose to be like, no, we need the full story of Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
But the story that people care about is that he united people. And there's other people who have done great
impact
things.
on people.
Yeah.
Like the impact on people that you have lasts longer than
Right.
the impact you maybe had on yourself.
Yeah, like even Elon Musk. It's the super insane guy who's running either the country or the world or the thing. If we end up on other planets thanks to him, then people will go, great, this guy saved the universe. And no one cares they try to take over the government for like 100 days.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Even the president probably has a lot of negative press, but in the future, if he does anything good or anything significantly positive comes out of either of these presidencies, people will be like, nice, dude. 100 years ago, that guy was like a firecracker, but
Right.
he set up something that made the world better.
So does that give you green light to fail almost?
I'm nervous. It gives you green light to be an ass. It seems like it gives you green light to be like a really crappy person.
So how do you steward that well then? Like that, the responsibility of like not being an ass. How do you steward that?
That's a good question. It's a great question. Because you can get away with a lot. If you do one significant good thing, you can get away with a lot of bad vibes.
Kind of crazy.
And maybe you'll make some like personal enemies.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll feel lonely because most of the people who actually know you personally don't like you.
Right.
And maybe the people who do like you want something from you because you're wealthy or successful or connected. And maybe that's annoying.
Right.
Maybe there's a bunch of celebrities who are like, I wish I wasn't a celebrity because now all my friends, I feel like they all want something from me.
Yeah. I think people get tainted as well. Like people that do good things kind of get tainted because there are people that will do good things in realization of like that fact that like you can do a lot of good and then do a lot of bad.
Yeah, I'm like, what's my bad thing?
And
I'm
so
like, let me find a bad thing to do. Just
Right.
so if I do good stuff, I can also like couch it and okay, well,
Right.
like at least I do drugs or like cheat on people or fight kids.
Fight
You know, right now it's just like I read a bunch of comics.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the worst thing about me? I don't know. I try to make the world a better place and I read a bunch of comics and sometimes people think I'm an asshole because I'm like condescending because I want to see people be better.
I don't think you're an asshole.
Well, you're lucky then.
I haven't gotten to know that part of you yet.
I'm working on it.
You're getting better.
I'm doing better.
You're getting closer to God.
Doing the best I can, man.
Yo, you've
Want to know some Judaism?
yeah.
I'll give you some Judaism.
Give it to me.
So just like they do in church, where they read part of the book every week,
Right. Part of the book, part of the Bible.
right?
Yeah. Word of God.
The Jews do that too.
Yeah.
And this week's portion of the Torah, is all about laws and rules because we're in the rules and laws section, which is long.
Yeah. Isn't that is that Leviticus?
That is Leviticus.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So we're in Leviticus. And this week's portion is about basically it is a greater punishment in Judaism for somebody that slanders and talks badly about someone than it is if they do a physical crime. Assault. I don't know. Murder might be off the table, but it's because they say the thing that separates us from animals is our ability to speak. And God spoke us all into existence. Let there be light, he said, and there was light.
Words are powerful.
Words are the most powerful,
Yeah.
according to religion. And so if words are so powerful and humans are the only thing that use words, then yeah, a person like violating someone physically or destroying something that's animal qualities. People have animal qualities. But if people use their godlike quality for evil, that's a worse punishment because it's a bigger violation of our holiness.
That's powerful.
Welcome to the Jews.
Welcome to the Jews is crazy. It makes sense.
A little bit of reverse osmosis here on the Creative to Create podcast.
What do you mean? You think I don't read Old Testament?
How deep are you in Leviticus right now?
Bro, Christians read the Old Testament.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of it's a double
we read
thing.
it all the time.
I believe it. I just threw that.
I gave you a book of Psalms.
I know,
Psalms
that's
is in
Old
the
Testament.
Old Testament. Yeah. Read Proverbs.
Yeah,
I
Katie
read
gave me
Proverbs
this
every day.
massive Bible.
She did.
It's huge.
Let's go.
I know. I'm like,
Props,
what do I do
Katie.
with this massive Bible?
Is it like a study Bible?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's
You feel
like the size of an
overwhelmed?
Xbox.
It is. I have one like
of course
that
I feel
too.
overwhelmed. Gabe's got his Bible on his phone. It's super convenient. I'm like, now I have a suitcase.
It's because Gabe's not strong enough to carry around a Bible.
Week.
Yeah.
But what
He's
I
gotta
will
rely on
say
his
is I
phone.
started reading Matthew 1.
Oh, that's cool. What do you think?
Welcome to Jesus. The three wise men
Yeah.
traveled across the land and said, hey, yo, Herod, what's up with this baby? And Herod's like, what baby? And these wise men are like, the next king or something.
He got jealous
And
real
Herod
quick.
goes, I don't like that. Let's kill all the babies. Conveniently.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine just being like, you know what? I feel threatened
By a baby.
by a baby. Let's kill every single baby in the land.
It's hard.
Imagine, dude. That's some next level.
I know, that's
evil.
some next level bad stuff. And he's probably remembered as like a good king for some reason.
By some people, maybe.
I don't know.
Not by me. Not by a lot of other people.
What else happened in the first Matthew? The genealogy.
Oh, we love the genealogy.
You know what we're talking about there?
Yeah.
There's like, what?
Where
like
does
14
Jesus
times 14 plus 14 plus 14? What's that?
Yeah.
40, don't math me on this, but probably 42
Around 40.
different
40's,
people
40's
had to
a
be descended
significant
from Abraham.
40 is a significant number in the Bible. 40 days, 40 nights.
42.
Yeah. It's exciting. I'm glad you're reading.
Came from a long line of peeps.
Yeah. What when it comes to your purpose in life.
No, deep.
Now let's go deep real quick. Your purpose in life, you've really gotten to the point where you kind of laid out what you're aiming to do with this platform that you have, what you're aiming to do with conversations that you have with everybody that you come in contact with, what you're aiming to do with the actions that you take on a daily basis, really trying to impact people. So when it comes to that purpose, how did you get there, and what were like some of the key factors that led you to the point of knowing that this is what you want to do with your life, and at least for now?
Man, I just wanted more love. I just wanted more love because I needed it from other people.
Yeah.
And I figured if I can learn it, then I can teach it.
Right.
If I can teach people how to be more loving, then they will be more loving to me.
Right.
So is that my purpose? Am I a self-fulfilling prophecy of just a guy who needs some person to love him and then has people do it eventually? Maybe.
Maybe
That's all it takes.
I
It's
think
for me to be so deeply invested in how can I find more love in the world that eventually I find it.
yeah.
And other people get it too. Great. Bonus.
It's good.
It's good.
It's a residual effect.
I wish I'd say my purpose was like curing a disease that killed people. But
Loneliness is a disease that kills people.
there we go. Yeah, there's some stats that say loneliness is taking up a whole bunch of people. And I think bringing that number down by 1% is pretty impressive. Bring the loneliness
1%
down.
is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. But if you text 3 friends that you're there for them, it's slightly less. Do the work, man. Do the work so I don't have to.
So for all of you listening, I think a good takeaway is be bold. Reach out to your homie.
Reach out to your homie. Call your fam.
Reach out to maybe someone who you notice is a little lonely, a little outsider. Not in a cheesy way either. I think you shouldn't just reach out to reach out. It's like if you genuinely are in a place where you understand on a deeper level that someone is experiencing something along the lines of what Orly's talked about today, genuinely make an effort, you know?
I'll tell you a story. I have a friend. We went to high school together. He had a bad hand in life. Life dealt him a bad hand.
How bad we talking?
He had addiction issues that his father gave him. He didn't live in a permanent house for a long time. He was incredibly susceptible to peer pressure. He was kind to people, but mean to many people. And people took advantage of him a lot. Didn't treat him well. And he just kind of rolled with it. And then he got cancer. And then he got better. But he struggled. And for about 18 months, I would call him once a month or so.
Okay.
And he never picked up. And I would leave him a message saying, hey, dude, just thinking about you. I don't know what you're up to, but I hope you're doing okay. Doing well, even. And I was just thinking about you. And if you want to talk, I'm here. And you do not have to call me back. And I will call you again next month. And I just sent this voicemail once a month for about 18 months. And he never picked up. But one day he did. It took 30 seconds.
No, yeah. I'm just saying that's a long period of time.
I know, right?
To send him.
It took 30 seconds to do. Collectively, 9 minutes. Right. No time, dude. I could scroll that away in less than 9 minutes.
Right.
And then one day he picked up and he said, dude, thank you. You know, we caught up and he said, I know I never call you back. I know I never call you at all. But going through some shit. I really appreciate the message. And you saying that you are going to call me back without me having to worry about anything was really assuring. And I'm like, great, no problem. It's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't cost me anything.
But meant the world to him.
Maybe. That's just what he said. It was meaningful to him. I'll
Usually
take his word for it.
Usually if someone admits something to this level, it's most likely at least double.
To dub.
Double. If you have 30 seconds, if you have a minute, do what Orly just did.
If you got 30 seconds, make a voicemail to a friend.
Exactly.
Boom yakasha. Also, more than a minute long is a brutal voicemail.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. To the point. If you're gonna text
thinking about you.
If you're gonna text somebody,
thinking about you.
Thinking about you.
Call me anytime. I'm here for you.
Literally.
Love you. Bye.
Hang up.
Yeah, or just send the message.
Yeah.
And you may got no response.
You might.
I sent a text message today. I got no response. It was a nice ass text.
That's a bummer.
I offered somebody something valuable.
And they didn't even respond.
They'll get back to me.
They're just not in the headspace right now.
Yeah, exactly. Not worried about it.
What's your vision of a socially fit world? And how do we get there?
Somehow loneliness goes down. I think it looks like smaller communities, local communities having more inclusive events, hyper local.
Mm-hmm.
Groups of 200 people, neighborhoods, block parties, potlucks, the community getting together. That would be amazing. I think it happens a lot in these areas. You know, out in Venice, there's like everything's happening
So
all
much
the
community.
time.
Yeah.
Here in Marina Ray, I don't know, I don't spend a lot of time here, but just community is stacking. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that is the future, especially in more places. And this is a very dense city with so many people, so it's
Right.
really easy to be like, oh, this is a dinner for private chefs who are also spiritually conscious, who love yoga, and you'll still have 45 people show up.
Yeah.
You know, you throw that in North Carolina, you've got maybe one person.
Maybe one. Yeah.
So I think that the future that I'm hopeful for has events that are constant, that are group specific, hyper local, but not exclusionary.
Yeah.
And then I come and speak at some. Hey.
If you need a speaker, hire Orly. If you know somebody that needs a speaker, hire Orly. That's my plug. I'm a plug.
Or if you just want me to speak to you specifically, then hire me. Not you, but like
just take him out for coffee.
if you're here and you're listening and you're like, you know what, I want Orly to just talk to me about self-love until I feel it more.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I need that, and I feel like I'm confused about my loneliness, and maybe I don't understand the symptoms of it, then yeah, I'll holler at you.
Holler at your boy.
H at your B.
I love you, bro.
Love you too.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thanks for having
me.
me.
It's been a pleasure. I wish we could talk for like 5 hours.
Dude, maybe we'll do it in the middle of the day.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll do a 5-hour run or something.
5-hour run?
Ooh, 5-hour run club.
Oh. Maybe someday.
That'd be crazy.
With you continuing to push me,
I think that's like a marathon.
I think we'll get there.
I think you could do a marathon
For me,
in 5 hours.
5 hours is definitely a marathon. Yeah, 100%. I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
What does it mean for you to be creative?
Being creative means having bad ideas and not being afraid to have them outside of your head.
I like that.
I'm like a manifestor generator according to the divine design, and I like that one. It's just put it outside your head. Put it outside your head again. For me, being a creator and writing is really synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that putting things on screens is cool, but putting words on paper has always really been interesting to me. I think in some ways that's a loneliness act.
It's like extra powerful to put it on paper.
I just like it. So if you said, what do you want to do? I'd be like, I don't need to touch a computer. I don't need to like hold a camera, but just give me a pen.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be thrilled. Like I brought a notebook
You
right
brought
there.
one with you, bro. You brought a notebook.
Got a pen in my pocket.
No, I like that. I was just talking to Cello on the last episode, and he was talking about how like him putting things down on paper or recording voice notes. He's like, you may have an idea and it may not lead to something right away, but you putting it out, and recording it allows you to analyze it later.
Yeah.
And use even just bits and pieces of it to create something else. But he's like, if you never recorded it, then you just forget it.
True.
And never comes back around. Or sometimes, maybe it does, but
Right.
it won't come around the same exact way. It won't have the same effect.
Got to put it down.
Put her down.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like how photos and voice memos and stuff like that, they're like a time machine to the past.
Yeah.
You just look in the past.
Little time capsule. I go back all the time in my camera roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look through things,
You'll see 'em.
relive memories,
Yeah.
and also like develop new ideas based off of past experiences.
Right.
Yeah. It's a cool thing. Cool thing to do. All right. Well, I'm a hop off now.
Hop.
You can stay here and talk to everybody, but I'm going to hop off.
Okay. What's up, everybody? We're creating the Created to Create 2 podcast. Created to Create 2, the sequel to the Created to Create podcast.
That's funny.
And I'm your host, Orly Israel. And we are sponsored by, I'm not going to say it unless they're actually paying us. I'm not going to say who we're sponsored by until they pay us.
Can't do that.
We're sponsored
You want
by.
to just be my backup host whenever I can't host? You want to just host?
Is there a time where you can't host?
Not yet, but in the future there could be.
Yeah. I'll ask a lot of good questions.
All right, I'll slate you in.
Slate me in. The next one records in 13 minutes. We're recording Hut Hop.
It's been a pleasure, an honor.
Nice, dude. Let's wrap it.
We'll keep chatting in the future.
Absolutely.
Conversations for days. But I'm
For
glad we
days.
recorded this one.
Me too.
We'll see you on the next one. Peace.